Hey everybody, this is Violet, and I saw the Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. This movie has been very, we'll say, divisive. I don't think anybody has said it's a fantastic, uh, great, well-made movie. I haven't really seen that, but I have seen a lot of people saying that, hey, it's fun, I enjoyed it, it was better than anything we've gotten before, it was a good time, I had fun with it. Like, I've heard a lot of that, but I haven't heard anyone say that it is an objectively good movie. I haven't really seen that. Um, but I have seen a lot of people call it a train wreck. so I uh, Let me just go ahead and at first just give my overall thoughts on it. Overall, I was somewhat disappointed with the movie. Um, my okay, by watching the trailers, my impression was that the movie was going to be a little bit more um, grounded, I guess, um, than what it turned out to be. It had a little bit of the cheese, while it wasn't, crazy or anything. It had a little bit more of the cheese kind of campy stuff to it than I thought it would. Um, there are also a lot of weird decisions when it came to the lore in changing up the lore a little bit. With the whole Arcana aspect of it, everyone's trying to like develop their superpowers. I thought that was kind of like I thought it was kind of cheap, to be honest. Um, I'm going to avoid talking about spoilers as much as possible, but it may be that I end up saying a few things. I'll try to warn you before I do. But the whole Arcana thing was part of the plot synopsis. So overall, I was slightly disappointed with it. My rating for the movie would be a 6 or a 6.5. I didn't think it was a terrific movie. But I did have fun with it. There were a lot of things that I did enjoy. What I want to talk about first, though, are the things that I thought were not done very well. The most glaring thing for me was the dialogue in the movie. I felt very strongly throughout the entire movie that whenever characters were talking to each other, it was the worst part of the movie. It was consistently weak and just felt stupid. It felt unnatural and really corny, and I never really connected to the way that characters interacted with each other. Now, that's not to say that the actors were bad. I didn't feel like there were any issues with the actors themselves. It just didn't feel like the the dialogue itself. It didn't feel like it was very natural. It all felt that it was to serve a purpose to get you from point A to point B, and that was it. There wasn't a lot of nuance, I guess, in how they got from point A to point B. They just said what they needed to say in order to get there. Everything was just very purposeful and like the bare minimum to make everything make sense. That's how it felt to me. Um, Also, keeping in the kind of aspect of the technical, I guess, aspects of the movie. Um, Dialogue was rough, but also the editing was bad. There were a lot of times where I thought, like, what just happened? you know? And I have to go back and rewatch because there is a point in spoilers. Uh, there was one fight with Reptile, and I thought there were multiple reptiles for a second because like there was supposed to be the flare on Reptile, but then it kept cutting, and I didn't see the flare or the lighting I felt on some of the cuts that they made, and then they cut back, and then there's the flare there again, and then I thought for a second, wait, is there a new Reptile? Is there a second Reptile coming in there? And I don't know if maybe there. I don't know. I have to rewatch it because what the heck was that? I don't know what happened. The editing for the movie, that's just one aspect that like really that I really remember, but the editing, I guess more specifically like the cuts, felt I guess the best word to use would probably be amateur. I felt like the movie was made by amateur filmmakers. And look, who am I? I'm just some dude. Okay? They did a better job than I could ever hope to do. Okay? But it just didn't feel like a AAA blockbuster kind of movie. It felt very cheap, and it felt it felt amateur. It felt like this was something that we could see someone uploading on YouTube from like their, private movie company that normally does a bunch of commercials and stuff like that. And, they'd probably condense it down to like 15, 16 minutes, But like it felt like it was just that, but they just gave it a full movie length. It was good, but it just wasn't at the upper echelon that I was kind of expecting and really hoping for it to be. I hope you understand what I mean by that. You could just feel that it wasn't quite there. Another negative aspect was kind of what they did with the lore. I personally didn't really like it. I understand that like this is something different. This is something new, and it's okay to play around with the lore of Mortal Kombat. It's not some sacred thing. When you have things in comic book movies, I generally feel that people are very resistant to any changes at all. They want to see the same movie 6,000 times. I'm not like that. There are some things that I don't feel you should change. Batman should always be an orphan. Superman should always be an alien. There are some things that you should not touch. But everything else should at least be fair game. You should at least be able to try different things. Whether or not they work is a completely different story. But you should be at least able to try different things. So I'm not mad at the movie for trying it. I just didn't like it because it felt very cheap. The aspect of the Arcana is what I'm referring to. I don't know if this has been explored in, the deep part of the Mortal Kombat lore, but it wasn't interesting at all. Spoiler here. There's the combatants for Earthrealm are chosen, I guess, by the Elder Gods, who place a kind of tattoo on them to mark them as the combatants to save Earthrealm. And I guess that tattoo, birthmark, whatever it is, allows them to unlock an inner magic for them, which is unique to every person. What they did with that was to essentially give them the abilities that they have in the Mortal Kombat games, with a supernatural explanation. However, I felt it kind of cheapened it because it was presented in a way that you would see in some kind of cartoon for kids. Everybody gets their own unique magic. You just have to work really hard and train really hard. And then one day, you'll unlock your very own personal magic too. You know, it was something you would see in a cartoon, in my opinion, you know, or every single anime you've ever watched, you know? And so to me, it just wasn't interesting because I feel like I've seen it done a million times before. I felt like it's almost a trope, to be completely honest. One such example is it almost takes away from what you know of these other characters too, because you're on as a Mortal Kombat fan, you're gonna compare what they do in the movie to what you know from the games. And one of the changes that they did was they took the inner magic arcana, whatever thing, and they used that to give Kano eye lasers instead of the cybernetic eye thing. And for someone who knows Mortal Kombat and knows the characters from Mortal Kombat and has spent some time interacting with those characters and in a way connecting to the characters, that's not as cool. You know, you've gotten used to all the real explanations for them, that when they decide to flip it a little bit, yeah, it gives you the same end result, but that's not Kano. That's not why he got it. It's kind of lame. Oh, he just got it because he got angry, so now he has eye lasers. Personally, I like the cybernetic enhancements a little bit more than he has inner magic that everybody has, and he unlocked it by getting mad by having his ego bruised. You know, I thought it was cool that, you know, he lost his eye and then got cybernetic enhancements for it, and now he's even more dangerous than he was before. You know, I think that's interesting, and I'm used to that too. And so maybe that's, you know, framing it a little bit. I just still think that the inner magic shtick is lame, personally. I just think it's lame. So I felt that was kind of stupid. What else did I feel was not done well? Cole. So everybody knew that this new character was being introduced, Cole Young, and he was going to be essentially like the main character. And they did tie him into established lore. Of course, he's not really part of the established lore, but that's what they connected him to established lore. I didn't like it. And I didn't think I was going to like it. I did give it a shot, but I didn't like it. I also didn't appreciate, I guess, how Cole got an opportunity to... Okay, spoilers. I can't get there without spoilers on this. So Cole fought Goro and killed him, by the way. He killed Goro. And then he also fought Sub-Zero and essentially landed the death blow, which led to Sub-Zero's death. This is coming from a character who couldn't beat a regular human in an MMA match. And apparently, by the way, he's normally just bad. Apparently, from what they describe, he's just bad at MMA. He's just bad at fighting. Right? What they alluded to at the beginning was that he's really good at punching stuff, but he cannot defend himself to save his life. Okay? He's good at offense, no defense whatsoever. Okay. I got you. But even in the MMA match that we saw, if he's so good at offense that he can beat freaking Goro and freaking Sub-Zero, he should be able to beat some humans before his lack of defense matters. That's how I feel. Your lack of defense fighting against humans shouldn't even be a problem if you're able to beat those other guys. If you're able to freaking Goro. He murdered Goro. At Sub-Zero. No. Heck no. This MMA failure is beating these guys? No. Don't give me that. So, look. If he sets up a stronger character to be able to take the win, I'm totally fine with that. But you're now shoving a new character into the movie, a character that kind of sucks, to be honest, and then you give him the 2 hardest kills? Like, it feels like they just put a self-insert fanfic character in there with some deviant art freaking magic stuff. Oh, this is my OC Mortal Kombat character. He's actually stronger than Goro, even though he's just a human. He's actually stronger than Goro, and he could beat Sub-Zero too. Yeah, and like he's bad at defense, but like spoiler, like his inner magic, his arcana, actually gives him armor that like absorbs impact. So his lack of defense isn't even a problem anymore because he can get punched and it doesn't even like affect him anymore. And so it's just like all offensive power. He's pretty much like the perfect character. Oh, and also he's from Scorpion's bloodline. So he's also part Shirai Ryu. He's pretty much the best character ever. Like, that's what it feels like. That's what it freaking feels like. Anyway, let's move on. You know, there are a lot of nitpicky things that I could get into with the movie. I think I'm going to just kind of leave off of it. There are some other things I could talk about. I do want to talk about the positives, though. One of the standout parts of this movie is the entire beginning sequence showing Scorpion's origin with Sub-Zero massacring his family. That is, I think, probably that is either number 1 or number 2 for the entire movie. It is a really good freaking scene. Like the whole thing is great. And if the movie kept that quality the entire time, I would be singing this movie's praises. I would probably have it a rating of like 8.5 to 9. Just if that's what the whole movie was. If it kept that the whole time, this would be like an 8.5, 9 movie. Like easy, definite. Yeah, unfortunately it didn't. Unfortunately it didn't keep that, but I cannot sing the praises of that opening enough. It was fan freaking tastic. And if you're not interested in watching the entire movie, if you know a lot of the negative reviews have put you down, you know, I think it's rather unfortunate. I would, if you have the time, because I think it's a fairly short movie. I want to say it's like hour 40 minutes maybe, something like that. It's not crazy long. If you had the time, you know, and I'm sure that, you know, at some point most people will find themselves with a little bit of time. I would suggest, you know, giving it a try, you know. But if you just don't want to dedicate the time, you just have no interest in it, I do encourage you to at least watch that opening, because that was really entertaining. I loved it. So yeah, that part I thought fan freaking tastic. Loved it. Other good things, I think that the casting was actually really good. I think that they did a really good job with the actors. I think the actors all with what they were given, did a good job. The fight scenes, I don't know of a fight scene off the top of my head that I didn't enjoy. You know, possibly the reptile one, just because it was weird. Like, just stuff just kept happening, and it was very. I think it was shot very poorly. But I think for the rest of the scenes, I was pretty happy overall. Yeah, I think the fights were pretty good, and there were some fatalities in there that I also think were pretty freaking good. You know, I was enjoying them, and that's something that, like, I didn't think I would actually see in a Mortal Kombat movie. You know, but like, that's the whole thing of the games, and it makes no sense why you wouldn't. But you know, I just getting to actually see it was really cool. I loved it. And then it did. I mean, the movie was pretty bloody, and that's what you need in a Mortal Kombat movie. Beyond that, I think the characters that they chose to use were pretty solid. I was gonna say I like the design for the characters, but as I was thinking about saying that I liked the design, I remembered Cabal. Cabal looks awesome, but his lines are stupid, and it's so dumb whenever he talks. It just, I don't know. It felt so dumb. Every time that he talked, I just felt like the awesomeness of his costume design just freaking collapsed whenever he was. It wasn't the sound of his voice. It was what he was saying. It goes back to the dialogue in the movie. It just felt just bad. So much of it felt bad. But we're talking about good right now. The design for Gabal, amazing. Amazing design. Molina, the costume for Molina was fine, but the teeth, she didn't always have the mouth open the whole time. Like, she had to, like, rip her face apart in order to expose all the teeth. It, like, normally if you would just look at her, you just see like a normal regular person. You know, just, you know, you could see like the teeth if she like snarled or whatever. You could say, oh, this is some weird teeth in there, but it didn't look that bad. There was one point where she opens up her mouth and she's like ripping the flesh from the sides of her mouth in order to open her mouth, and then you see like all the teeth and stuff. But I just kind of wondered, why wasn't it always like that? You know, because like she's doing it willingly. It's not like, you know, someone just ripped off that part of her face and, you know, now you can see all the teeth and, oh, that's why she has her look. No, she just like arbitrarily opens her mouth wider and wider and wider until the flesh starts to like peel off, you know, just to be scary and intimidating. But like, you mean to tell me she's never done that before? I think that they should have just let it rock. Honestly, I think they should have let it rock the whole time. Just let her always have the freaking crazy face. You know, if it's hard from a makeup perspective, just put a mask on, you know, whenever she doesn't need to, you know, be fighting. But we need to see that kind of stuff, you know. But I think her design was overall fine. It wasn't bad or anything. Most of the characters would be very, very recognizable. Kano is an exception to that, and possibly Molina too, because before she opens her mouth. I don't think anyone would recognize Kano. Liu Kang, you got smaller chance if you saw him out of context that you would recognize him. Kano, not a chance. You would not. If you saw a picture of Kano as he looks in the movie without any context, not having seen the movie, you wouldn't look at that picture and say, oh, that's Kano from Mortal Kombat. You wouldn't do it. There's no way you would do it. And part of that, of course, is not having the cybernetic eye, which is, you know, anyway, we're staying crap, man. I'm trying to stay positive. Anyway, so I was talking about fight scenes before. That was a big positive. Sub-Zero was probably the best character in the movie. Um, when Sub-Zero was on the screen, crap was good. That's all I know was Sub-Zero. If Sub-Zero's there, this movie is exciting. Sub-Zero's not there. When Sub-Zero's there, though, and I enjoyed the ending fight. I enjoyed Scorpion. And what else did I enjoy? Those fights, though. I thought the list was a little bit bigger for positives. To be honest, Scorpion's costume design was good. Sub-Zero's costume design was very solid too. Shang Tsung was pretty decent. Man, I feel like I'm grasping for straws if I'm talking about costume design. That's not a good look. I think honestly, the fights were good enough that it really saved the movie overall. And then the fight choreography was not too bad. Not too bad. I'm really trying to get positives, but I don't think I have any more. Yeah, as I said before, overall, I'd give it like a 6 or a 6.5. I don't think the movie is utter garbage like people have, been saying it was, but I think that some people were expecting something different, and I can't really blame them for expecting something different. I was expecting something different too. What the movie is a lighthearted, a lighthearted action movie that honestly, I think it requires that you not think very much. I like movies that you don't need to think very much about it. But I think this is one of those movies that kind of requires that you not think very much about it, because as soon as you start to think at all, you'll start to be like, this is kind of eh. You just go for the ride, turn the brain off, you have to really be the kind of person that can just have fun with a movie and throw away your expectations. If you're not able to put expectations aside, you're really going to have a hard time finding enjoyment in this movie. If you're the kind of person that can, just buckle up and go wherever it takes you, you'll enjoy this movie a heck of a lot more. It's not going to be one of your favorite movies, but you'll find that the time that you spent was overall enjoyable and worth it. So let me know what you thought about the movie, because I know it's been very divisive. A lot of people have, really taken a crap on the thing, and quite a few other people are pretty positive on it. I would say overall, I'm happy I watched the movie. I got something out of it. It just could have been better. And they set up a sequel bait, and I don't really know if they're going to get the sequel, to be honest, or if they should. But you know what? Maybe that's a topic for a different time. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, greatly appreciate a like to support it, or sharing it with someone that you think might enjoy it as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.